Hey guys, this is JP's LEGO Reviews. Today, let's answer a very important question when it comes to LEGO collectible minifigures, and that is, why are collectible minifigures overrated? Well, let's break it down. Let's look at 4 different things on collectible minifigures. Firstly, why it's overrated for unlicensed minifigures, how it's overrated for licensed minifigures, how the overall experience isn't good, and how it's a very bad deal for you. So, let's look at through step by step. Firstly, why is it overrated for unlicensed minifigures? Well, the quality of the minifigures included are mediocre at best since they aren't super detailed or super interesting. For example, here, now I'm giving it a very generalized good enough. For example, the minifigures that are good enough include the Lady Knight, the guy with the slingshot, the brown space minifigure, the rip-off Steve Irwin, the soccer referee, potentially the girl with the unicorn, and the Potter. That's still 7 out of 12, where it's an okay ratio. I'm being very generous, and most of these minifigures still aren't super interesting. They're just good enough sort of interesting. And, for example, looking at this even more, these minifigures aren't super collectible unless you want to build a LEGO city. For example, if you want to get more minifigures to put with, say, your modulars, what do you get? Well, here again, the only minifigure that really makes sense and most that you can sort of place anywhere is the guy with the slingshot and the girl with the unicorn and the rocking horse, since the rest of them need a specific reason to be there. In a zoo, you can get the Steve Irwin ripoff. If you're a LEGO space collector, the brown space minifigure would be great for you. The soccer referee with a red card will really only work either in sort of a gym setting or in a soccer field, or really any field really, because you can just get rid of a red tile and then that referee can be used in other sporting areas. And the Potter can only really be used in some sort of art studio, where they're still pretty niche if you really think about it. And the other minifigures don't have any purpose whatsoever. And let's look at why it's overrated for licensed minifigures. Now, with these minifigures, most of them are from mediocre licenses. And because of this, the minifigures themselves aren't that great to collect. And out of these 12, I'd say, minifigures, most of them are pretty boring. For example, the only really good minifigure, in my opinion, actually the 2 that are good here is Nick from Zootopia, which is the fox, and the robot from the robot. And it's just the white minifigure with the 2 eyes, if you don't know. The big marshmallow robot from Big Hero 6. Those 2 minifigures are good. You also have a Lion King, not the Lion King, but a Lion King from, I think, Zootopia as well. That looks pretty okay, but the rest of them are boring. I know this is for the 100th anniversary for Disney and whatever, but these minifigures are truly not that interesting to collect. Most of them are strange characters that not a huge amount of people would even care about. For example, I'm pretty sure quite a lot of them are from Coco, which who cares about that movie, and quite a few more of them from a bunch of other movies that not lots of people really care about. And this makes licensed minifigure series, which should be better, still not awesome to collect either. Okay, so how's the overall experience not good? Firstly, to get the minifigures you want, caveat, the ones you actually want, brand new, you either have to order it for an inflated price on Bricklink to get a specific minifigure, or you need to get lots and lots and lots of packets, potentially, to get the one that you want. Especially since LEGO are sort of making their minifigure, collectible minifigures, in a sort of packaging where you can't even feel what they are. They're just sort of, there's no way of telling. And that's even worse. It makes the experience worse. For example, with this Marvel series 2, which I will say is probably a better, minifigure series, you get quite a few interesting minifigures here. 4 from X-Men, and 2 Moon Knight minifigures, which they are both pretty okay. But here's the problem. There's also one from Ant-Man as well. But with these minifigures, let's say you want to get Wolverine, you may still get a lot of minifigures you don't want. No one wants 10 She-Hulks. No one wants to see probably even 1 She-Hulk, to be honest, since that's probably the worst character Marvel have ever come up with. And that show was horrendous, and it's not even, I couldn't even be bothered watching it because of how terrible it looked. But you don't want to get 10 She-Hulks and still miss out on Wolverine. And with the way that Lego Marvel, or the way that, not Lego Marvel, but specifically, but with the way that Lego collectible minifigures are going, it's making the experience actually worse, not better, especially with their new sort of packaging style. And, finally, it's a very bad deal for you. And the reason why is it's poor value for money. Because if you want to get 10 packets of minifigures, it would cost you roughly $50 US, where you can get a awesome set instead, and there's still no guarantee you'll get the minifigures you want. For example, with the Disney 100-year anniversary minifigure selection, the only good minifigures that I'd want are, say, Nick and the robot from Big Hero 6. Now, you could still not get them after buying $50 US worth of minifigures. And instead, you could, say, get a Lego Technic Ballade or a Lego Star Wars Spider Tank, where both of these are far better value for money than 10 minifigures, since you're getting something you actually want. And they are fun building experiences where Lego minifigures, it's almost a bit disappointing if you don't get what you want. Now, I will say that they're not terrible. I'm not actually saying that these are even terrible, but rather they are overhyped for what they are. There is room for improvement with collectible minifigures. For example, you can put minifigures that more people would actually want to get, but also there's no real incentive to collect as well, because Lego aren't pulling out Mr. Golds anymore. It doesn't have to necessarily be Mr. Gold, but for every maybe 2 or 3 series of minifigures, you could say have a Mr. Silver or Mr. Bronze, or maybe an exclusive version of a Marvel character, or maybe just something different. A different minifigure, or maybe a gold version of Wolverine, or maybe a gold version of Mickey Mouse, I don't know. Just something that makes collecting minifigures interesting. And there's nothing that makes it particularly interesting about Lego collectible minifigures. They're not terrible. They're okay, but they're just okay. They're not even good, they're just okay. They can get bad, but they're just okay for the most part. And they are way too overhyped for what they are, which is essentially a lottery system to get a minifigure that you want, and it's not guaranteed that you'll actually get the minifigure unless you buy it from someone on Bricklink for $25. And simply, that is not an experience that I would recommend really anyone having, since it's not a great Lego experience. And instead, you could do something far better with your hard-earned dollars. For example, getting a Lego set that you would enjoy and build and be happy that you got because you like the Lego set that you purchased. And this is why it's overhyped, because there's far better ways of spending your money, even within Lego. There's far better things you can buy that are still Lego, but are far more enjoyable, and it's also something that you will actually like for a long time as well. And apart from that, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. What's your opinion on Lego collectible minifigures? Do you like Lego collectible minifigures or not? Again, let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. If you want to see more content just like this, please subscribe. I hope you guys have a lucky day and keep building.